What is going on, everybody? It is your boy K-Mac here, coming again to you with a cartoon conspiracy theory. Now, this one is a little more complicated than usual, and it's a little bit longer than usual, but I feel like just because this Halloween special of Charlie Brown, the Great Pumpkin, is one of the best holiday specials of all time, that it would have to have one of these bigger, longer videos. And this has kind of got 6 different theories involved in this one video, and I'll jump from each picture will be a different theory. But the first theory is that the Great Pumpkin is a vengeful god who killed all of the kids' parents. Now, in Charlie Brown, there's never been any parents like in the houses, or cooking or cleaning, or even like anywhere in the thing. The only kind of adult in the entire series is a teacher, and you never actually see that teacher. It just has the wah 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 is the best you can get from an adult perspective of these characters. And the theory goes that in this holiday special, the Great Pumpkin was an alien pumpkin that had been possessed, and that it came down and killed all of the adults in the town. And it was so traumatizing and so gory that everyone had just blacked it out of their mind except for Linus. And because of this, Linus must come to the pumpkin patch every October, hoping to lure a friend that he could then feed to the insatiable gourd, or the pumpkin, the Great Pumpkin, so that the rest of the community can live in peace for another year. It's kind of like making a sacrifice to the pumpkin so that everyone else can be safe for another year. It's a creepy, cultic way to look at this, and it's very dark, especially for a cartoon like Charlie Brown, but it's very cool and different way to think about this. But yeah, it is one of these scarier theories that I've ever run across, especially from a cartoon like Charlie Brown, that no one would ever expect anything like this, especially from this holiday special, which I have seen 1,000 times, and I'm sure you guys have too. This has been played so much, especially like when you're in preschool or something like that. In grade school, they'll play it for like when you have a little party or something like that inside your classroom. These are the kind of things that are usually played. But moving on to the second part of this theory, or the second theory that I should say. The second theory is that the network cut out a scene where Linus teaches Charlie Brown about the true meaning of Halloween by reading from the, oh god, I'm going to pronounce this terribly, the Necronomicon. I'll put it in the description. I cannot pronounce that. I'm sorry, guys. And but what it is a book of the dead that some cultures use, and they kind of describe the true meaning of Halloween inside of this. I'm not really sure. I could be wrong, but that's what I gathered from this. But anyway, the backstory on this one is that many of you may remember in the Charlie Brown Christmas, there's a scene where Linus takes a stage and he says, lights please, and he tells Charlie Brown and the rest of the Peanuts gang the true meaning of Christmas. Tells them what happened in the Christmas, what happened in the Bible. And not a lot of people know this, but the creator of the show, Charles Schultz, had to fight to keep that scene in the cartoon get it on the air, as the network didn't want to mention the Bible, didn't want to mention things like that of religious nature on their show. The theory here is that he had done a similar scene in this holiday special, but he didn't win the battle in this one. That it was actually pulled from the actual cartoon and never aired. However, it is rumored that as Linus read from that book of one I couldn't pronounce, that louder and louder screams of ancient demons could be heard, and then eventually they burst through the book and started terrorizing all of the Peanut Gang characters, and started just running amok and scorching the earth and taking over until they were defeated by Snoopy, who performed an exorcism on them, which is kind of crazy to think about that. There's rumors out there that some of these films of this have been saved from, some of them were reconstructed, and it's believed that some of these images are actually floating around on the internet somewhere, and I could not find them. If you guys can find them, that'd be great. You guys can email me, that'd be awesome. You guys can find images of this. But moving on to the next part, or the next theory, I should say again, is that Charlie Brown's Halloween costume is not a ghost with many eyes. It is actually a failed attempt. While he's making his costume, he was actually shot and died, with all those holes being bullet holes, and that he was wrapped up in a sheet with those holes in it and thrown into a ditch and never discovered. The theory goes that Charlie was violently murdered while trying to make his Halloween costume. He had the sheet over him, and instead of somebody helping him by poking holes in it for eyes like we see the other costume, he was shot to death, like I said earlier, and then they hid his body inside of that same costume. And that the theory goes on to say that the rest of the Peanut Gang is being haunted by Charlie Brown as he follows them house to house while they're trick-or-treating and collecting more and more rocks. And now he needs rocks to weigh his spirit down so he doesn't float up to heaven before he could find a new host body. So he was gathering rocks so he could make himself heavy so he didn't float up to heaven, and he could find a new body in time before he floated off. Now, the creator of this cartoon, like I said, Schultz, wondered if it would be a kind of a stupid move to kind of kill off the main character, especially when the other cast members were so busy getting candy and celebrating, they wouldn't even be bothered to actually think about looking for Charlie Brown, which is why you have at the end of the Halloween special, you have an end credit sequence with it's just silence. There's no music, there's no nothing, there's nothing. It's just credits rolling, and it's a sequence where Charlie Brown is on camera, still undiscovered body at the foot of a Christmas snow. So at the end of that, you'll see it's kind of just him sitting there and underneath the sheet, and it's kind of snowing a little bit for Christmas snow, and it's supposed to be like a thing about his undiscovered dead body. But moving on to the next theory in this, part 4. This theory says that the creator, Charles Schulz, was using this episode or this special to create his own religion or to start his own religion. Now, this might seem kind of crazy and out of left field, but it kind of makes a little bit of sense when we look at it in this way when I explain it in this way. By this time, Charles Schulz was making a boatload of money off of the Peanuts characters and all of their copyrights and the comic strips and the merchandise. He was making millions and millions of dollars. But with those millions of dollars, of course, comes the increased taxes. He was paying an incredible amount of taxes, and he was really not happy about how much money he was losing to taxes. So he noticed that religions do not have to pay taxes. So he thought to himself, what if I made this into a religion where I not have to pay taxes? Now think about it like that. It's kind of crazy, but there's a little bit more to it. But in order to have a new religion, you have to come up with a quote-unquote new god. And the new god apparently was supposed to be the Great Pumpkin. And the idea of a holiday is a great way to start a new faith. There's a holiday you can celebrate. Everyone already knew Halloween, and the Great Pumpkin was going to be the new scapegoat god so we could dodge these taxes in the IRS. Apparently, in early drafts of the script, the Great Pumpkin was not only supposed to reveal himself to be a new god, but he was supposed to smite all non-believers and leaving only Linus to start a new but better world order. So basically, the pumpkin was supposed to come down and just kill everyone that was non-believing. It was supposed to be a kind of rapture, if you will. And apparently, this led to 47 drafts of the script of this episode being written before the network would accept it. They were not a big fan of this idea. They did not want this idea at all. So it took them 47 drafts before Schulz was eventually able to convince them to take that cut. And he eventually cut all of this out. But apparently, this was in it before, and it's kind of crazy to think that he was trying to start his own religion to dodge IRS, but it's kind of funny. Moving on to the next part, or the next theory of this, is the theory that this special was originally supposed to be as a slasher horror kind of creepy, kind of scary kind of episode for kids. And, you can imagine where this would go in with this big knife here. This picture is a very good picture to illustrate this, but it was originally supposed to be, like a crazy, scary, kind of bloody, gory kind of movie, maybe in a way. Apparently, one of those original 47 scripts that he wrote, where he's rewriting, taking out the rapture and taking out all the God stuff, he wrote a 2-hour animated special that was, quote, supposed to scare the hell out of its young viewers. He was kind of writing this script kind of as a take that to the studio for shooting down his fake religion idea that he was just kind of toying with. But in this one, it starts off with Lucy in a state asylum constantly screaming to people in there that she's in pain, she's being stabbed, she's being killed. And it's kind of creepy and scary and like that to just think about this being in a Charlie Brown cartoon. The script goes on to say later in the thing where they are carving this pumpkin, as you see right here, as she carves the pumpkin, the spirit of the great jack-o'-lantern is unleashed and takes revenge for all pumpkin carvings ever been done. And by basically going out and stabbing all the children and stabbing everybody and making this very gory, scary kind of cartoon that would have just been absolutely bonkers at the time, especially when the direction that the Peanuts universe had been going. This would have been totally out of left field and scared everyone. It would have been so awesome. Actually, I believe this would have been so fucking cool to see this. The theory also states that this was Schultz's original idea, original plan to phase out characters that had only been in the thing a couple times, like Shermie Violet and the original Patty would have been phased out. And this is how he would have done it. He would have actually just killed them off in this, and he would not have had to include them. And he might have actually brought them back as zombies later in the special, and they would have been like haul up in a mall kind of thing. Apparently, the script goes on. But that's it for that one. Moving on to the last theory of this, and it is the entire story and all the children only exist in Snoopy's mind. Now, this one's kind of crazy as well, as long as the other ones are. But this one's kind of funny, I thought. So I'll go ahead and share with you guys. Anyway. Now, I'm sure you guys are all familiar with the World War I flying ace Snoopy scene where Snoopy imagines or thinks or apparently actually is flying his doghouse and shooting at people, or not shooting, but he was flying like the Red Baron on top of his doghouse and stuff like that. And a popular chain of thought is that not only is Snoopy imagining his flight, because that is kind of impossible to do to fly a doghouse, he's also fantasizing about the entire cast and saying that all the main characters of the Peanut comic strip and the TV show only exist in Snoopy's mind, and that the entire cartoon world only exists in his fevered imagination of a dog who spends his day laying in the slight edge of a doghouse in the sun, while the sun constantly bakes his brain into absolute dementia. So that's kind of the end of this theory, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, they were all kind of crazy and kind of out of left field, but I hope you guys enjoyed. So if you guys can hit that like button, it'd be very much appreciated. If this video gets to 600 likes, I'll go ahead and drop out next week's theory a day early for you guys. And if you guys are new around here, you guys can feel free to subscribe and check out some more of these cartoon conspiracy theory videos. I do them weekly, and I have a whole series of them over on my channel. You guys can go check out and watch all the previous ones. I also want to know what you guys want to see in the future, so go ahead and drop a comment telling me what cartoon theory I should do next. But please go, like I said, go over and check out my playlist before you do that, so you guys know which ones I've already done. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe as always. And as always, guys, getting the fuck on. Until next time, peace out.
Friendly sat comment.